What a thoroughly unbeautiful morning. 8 to 10 inches of snow, ice pellets, changing over now to freezing rain. Nasty stuff. Okay, it's a thoroughly dirty day out, and dirty days are shop days. Can't go do any electrical work because I haven't got the roads plowed. We've got between 8 and 10 inches of snow down, ice pellets turn into freezing rain now. Messy day, so a good day to be inside the shop. So, I want to talk today about batteries, power tools. Not going to talk about woodwork today. In the last 25 or 30 years, the construction industry, the maintenance, homeowners, farmers, everybody has got into the battery power tool bit. They're wonderful. You can do more with a battery powered tool, it seems, than what you can from corded tools, and you're not tied to an extension cord, and you're not limited to being able to use a tool where you've got access to AC power. There's been a lot of advancements with the battery power tools in the last few years. Some good advancements and some not so good. Got the rigid subcompact set here. I'm going to talk about them a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the other brands. I started out, as most of you know, I'm also an electrical contractor as well as homesteader. I started out with DeWalt power tools, and I was very happy with DeWalt for a long time. I had the 18-volt DeWalt tools, drills, drivers, circular saw, reciprocating saw, had the whole enchilada, and used them for quite a few years. One of the things that I started to not like about the DeWalts was the DeWalts had the metal chucks, and metal chucks were good compared to the plastic chucks, but started seeing the metal chucks seize up on the drills, and had to have 2 or 3 chucks replaced under warranty. Paid to have another chuck replaced, and that wound up being over $100. Would have probably been cheaper to buy a new drill than it was to replace the chuck on the one I had, but lessons learned. The thing that got me at the end with the DeWalts was the earlier batteries that I bought when I first got into DeWalt tools. Those batteries seemed to last and last and last. You could charge them up and use them for, extended periods of time, and they just worked well. And then as I kept replacing tools, and I bought a few more drills and drivers, and the batteries that I got later on they just would not stay charged. And actually, I think the last drill that I bought, there was 2 batteries came with it, and within 3 months of the time that I bought that kit, one of the batteries wouldn't charge, and the other one wouldn't stay charged for much over an hour or so. Long story short, I got so frustrated with the DeWalt batteries that at last one day I was trying to get some work done, and we were lugging around 12, 14 batteries on the truck trying to keep a couple of drills, a couple of drivers going. The last one day I just bagged up a whole lot of DeWalt tools and batteries and chargers, the whole kit and caboodle, and chuck them. Switched over to Milwaukee tools, and never looked back. The Milwaukee 18 volt, I have had really good success with them. And one of the beauties of the Milwaukees is that, I mean, this is rigid. I'm not confused. I may be old, but I'm not confused. But one of the beauties of a Milwaukee tool is on the side of each tool, you've got a serial number. And if anything goes wrong with a Milwaukee drill, driver, whatever, I go to the company in Fredericton, which is about 45 miles away. I go in there. They're the drop-off point for Milwaukee repair. And they look at the serial number on the tool, and the serial number has the date of manufacture. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think Milwaukee Tools has a 5-year warranty on the tools and 3 years on the batteries. They look at the serial number, and if the tool is still within that 5-year period, the tool gets shipped out, gets repaired, comes back. I don't pay a penny. No questions asked, no receipts necessary, no registration necessary, nothing. It's just they look at the date on the tool. If it's within the 5-year period, Milwaukee repairs it. I've had very, very good success with Milwaukee. In fact, I'm going to tell you a story about what's the name that I'm looking for? Hole saws. Temporary brain freeze there. My wife bought me a set of Milwaukee hole saws for Christmas a couple of years back. And it's the set that goes from like 1/2 inch up to 2 inch. It's got a couple of mandrels into it. Nice little set of tools. We use the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 a lot in electrical work for various things. And I noticed when I got the set of tools that the 3/4 inch hole saw was weird. The teeth were actually cut in it backwards, as opposed to the drill turning or the hole saw turning in a clockwise manner and cutting the hole. This one was, the teeth were cut in it backwards, so it would have to go in reverse to cut a hole. Very inconvenient because the pilot drill is still looking to turn clockwise. So, no big deal. It's not like the end of the world or anything. But I took a picture of the set of hole saws, and I said, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same, and sent it to Milwaukee on their Facebook site. Never thought that they'd do anything about it. Just one of those random things. A couple days later, I get a message on Facebook, and this gentleman asked for my email address. And so I gave him the email address, and they sent me an email and asked me if I could take a couple more pictures of the hole saw kit and the date of manufacture that was on the kit, and email the pictures to another gentleman in the company. So I did. Never thought anything of it. I thought maybe, they'd send me a $10 gift certificate for, something or whatever. About 2 weeks later, the mail comes, and here's a complete new set of Milwaukee hole saws, just because one hole saw out of the other kit was cut incorrectly. They send me a complete brand new set. That's a company that you don't mind spending money with because they stand behind their product. Okay, so about around April, late March, April of last year, I was in the Home Depot, and they had this subcompact kit on sale. There was the drill and the driver, a charger, and 2 1.5 amp hour batteries. On sale for, I think it was $149. They were on the clearance aisle. And I get it that the subcompacts aren't real, well favored with tradesmen because they are small and maybe they do lack power a little bit. But I just wanted a set of tools that I could use in my shop because I have the Milwaukees on my truck, use them for the electrical work. And I just wanted a small, compact set to use solely in my workshop. This fit the bill. In fact, this little subcompact driver, look at the size of that compared to my hand. I can get into some pretty small areas with that to drive screws that I couldn't get into with the bigger Milwaukees or the DeWalt. Good little kit. Now, I'm not knocking rigid tools in any way. If you looked around my shop, I've got the rigid belt sander, rigid circular saw, I've got the spindle sander, vacuum cleaner, planer, router, probably some more rigid stuff around here. The rigid corded power tools, I love them for the value, for the power, uh, sheer dependability, I really like rigid tools. They're good stuff. In fact, the rigid planer that I had the 735 DeWalt planer before that. Had no end of trouble with the DeWalt planer, and at last the motor gave out on it. It wasn't really that old, but the motor quit on it. And I was thinking about buying another DeWalt 735, and then I looked at the rigid, and it's not quite half the price. It's a little more than half the price, but I thought, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I have just been blown away by the rigid planer ever since I bought it. Very happy with rigid tools. I mean, I'm not complaining about them. But I bought this set back in, like I say, March or April, and about September, one of the batteries died. And so I went into Home Depot just a short time ago. Had the battery in my truck for a while and just kept forgetting to take it in and talk to them. So I went into Home Depot with the battery and went to the customer service counter. Very self-assured young man came over and asked me what I wanted. And I said, I want to see about getting this battery replaced because it quit within 6 months of the time that I bought the tool. So he went into a very long description about how Home Depot does not warranty tools past 30 days and the whole thing. I waited till he was done, and I said, well, Rigid has a lifetime warranty on their tools, and I believe it's a 3-year warranty on batteries, maybe more. So then he told me that the only way I can have this replaced is if I registered the tool online. Unfortunately, I had to have registered it within 90 days of the time that I bought the tool, and somebody forgot to register the tool, or didn't bother to register the tool, which used to use Milwaukee's. So anyway, make a long story short, I don't think I'm going to get the battery replaced. I'm not going to quit using rigid tools because of it, but probably not going to get the battery replaced. So I've got a drill and a driver for my shop, and I've got one battery. So when I'm drilling pocket holes or I'm drilling, counter sinks, and then I'm driving screws, I'm always switching back and forth between the batteries. And so I went looking for another set of batteries for this kit here. I was going to buy the 4 amp hour batteries, and two 4 amp hours. Now here's where they get you. Here's where it kind of doesn't make sense. 2 of the 4 amp hour batteries was $177. One 4 amp hour battery was $149. So either that piece of plastic that they package the batteries in is really, really expensive plastic, or else there is a really odd pricing scheme at work here. One battery is $149, 2 is $177. Okay. One of the 2 amp hour batteries, now they didn't have the 1.5s. It was 1.5s that came with this kit. They didn't have the 1.5s, but one 2 amp hour battery with the charger was $149, or two 2 amp hour batteries was $159. And so I looked around, and the sales associate came over and asked me what I was looking for, and I told him what I was doing, and he thought that there was one set of batteries that had been on sale, and maybe it was still on sale. He went and checked and couldn't find the sale price for them, and so I said, that's okay. I'm gonna just keep looking around here. And so walked around through, and over on the area that's kind of the clearance tools, the stuff that they've got on sale, that they're trying to get clear of, I find this, which is the drill, the same subcompact drill that I have in the other set, a charger, and 2 of the 2 amp hour batteries for $149. And a case, snazzy little case. We can't overlook the case. So one battery, one 2 amp with a charger was $149, or 2 amp with a charger and a drill and a case was $149. Now the sales associate neglected to tell me about that, but sometimes you've got to do some investigation if you want to get the best price on this stuff. And so, of course, it's a no-brainer. Grab the kit. I now got a spare drill, so I can keep a countersink in one drill. I can keep my pocket hole drill in the second drill, and I've got a spare battery for my charger. All works out, all good in the end. And I've got a spare charger to hang on the wall. So I say all that to say this: when you're looking to replace batteries for your cordless tools, shop around, because the best deal isn't necessarily always the battery that's hanging on the wall. With the Milwaukees, I know at one point I went looking for some batteries for the Milwaukees, and at that time it was a cheaper deal. I got a drill and the impact driver and two 18-volt batteries and a new charger, cheaper than what I could buy the two. And I think they were 4 amp hour batteries. They could have been 2s, but I think it was 4 amp hour batteries in that kit. It was cheaper to get the kit, and I got the new drill, the new driver, plus there was a promotion on that I got a free circular saw, battery powered circular saw at the same time. So I got 3 tools, a new charger, and 2 batteries for what it would have cost to buy 2 new batteries. So when you're shopping for batteries, look around, because they're not always going to tell you where the best deal is, and it may not always be evident. Actually, this kit wasn't anywhere near all the other battery-powered rigid tools. It was off by itself on a shelf. And if I hadn't walked around through the section, doing some snooping and some cruising and poking my nose into stuff, I probably wouldn't have seen this, because the sales associate never mentioned it to me. And, hey, he's doing his job. I'm not knocking them. He was just doing his thing and probably never thought of them. But when you look around, even shopping online, you'll find that don't buy the first thing you see, but, scroll through the pages, and sooner or later, you're probably going to find a better deal by buying a combo kit that has a tool or multiple tools and get the batteries that way than what it is to buy a single battery, off the shelf. So just a little tip, little discussion on battery powered tools. And I got to go out and shovel snow, and it is pouring rain, and I don't want to go out and shovel snow, but I've got to. It's got to be done. So y'all have a good day. Stay safe. Stay happy. Until next time.